Well, g'day folks, finally the day has come for this old two-stroke and some two-stroke content. Previously discussed, piston's absolutely fried, so we've got a donor block for it. Could technically put a piston and rings in that and hone it out, but cost versus benefit. Had that happen, possibly due to an air leak. More likely X marks the spot where it fell apart right there. Someone didn't read or didn't understand what fuel oil mixture is, so anyhow, rip this old motor off, get the deck cleaned up and get started. Pretty sure they got their money's worth out of the blades. Do this single-handed. Alright, our frame's looking pretty clean. There's a little hole in the side of it. We'll plate that up. I'm just going to be using this one for a while, so really doesn't bother me. Here's our donor block. It should be okay. It did sit outside in my backyard for a couple of years, but it did have a starter on it. It was already seized up, so I've ripped it off. Cleaned it up, gave it a dusting of black engine enamel. Waste of time, it'll just burn off anyway, so. Before we jam this on there though, we've got to harvest a few parts off the old motor. We'll at least fit the muffler, ignition coil and bottom plate from the old engine onto the new one. Alright, ready to go onto there. So here's where we're at. Bare engine, with muffler installed. Is a little bit growly in the bearings when turning over. Could just be me being picky. Not really concerned at this stage because I'm not going to be selling this one. Just need it to knock down some scrub basically and catch it, so otherwise I'd use a utility. Pillaged carburetor off the old engine, got to go and clean it up a bit. The straight intake, was going to use the starter but it's been broken, so I've got to go and hunt for another one. Might even pop that piston out of the old block just to see how bad it was. I mean, could be worse. Could have shit the bed like this guy did. That's the flywheel hanging out the side of the crankcase. Not sure how it happened. I do have my suspicions. Which is a shame, because I liked on this mower how everything was red. But including the top cover, which has been repurposed. So this will probably end up with just a Quantum or something on it. Maybe a GCV Honda motor. Alright. Got a starter pillage from another mower. It's already got new rope in it, so chuck him in with a new O-ring and keep cracking. Cleaned our intake tube, manifold, whatever you want to call it, off. Got some new O-rings. Time to chuck him back on there. So, up to a carburetor now. I've just taken the carburetor off the same mower I took the starter off. Why? Because I know it works well and I cleaned it out not that long ago. The one I took the starter off, I had not realised beforehand that someone had ran it without oil in it. So it ran well, but it just wouldn't idle properly. So anyhow, the carburetor that came off this had cracks through the body. This one's good. Already know it works. Just time to sort of chuck it on there with some new kill switch rubbers, and then we're almost done. So close. Don't think I've got any two-stroke fuel on hand, but let's get it together and I'll go and buy some. Okay, so between the hedge trimmer and chainsaw, I found maybe a cup full of two-stroke fuel. There was a little bit of two-stroke in the tank still. I assume it was two-stroke because it was tinted green, so anyway. I haven't even checked this thing for spark yet. I might even need to pull the plug out and clean it off, but never know. Pissing fuel, that's a good start. So before I put the starter on, I tipped a little bit of automatic transmission fluid on them bearings just to hopefully bring them around a little bit. That's our excess smoke, but all right, let's go and buy some petrol and take it for a spin somewhere. Alright, so fairly successful. She's a little bit rev happy still. Might need to revisit that carb, make sure I didn't pinch an O-ring putting it together. But for today, it lives on for now. This is what was left of the piston out of the old block. Yeah, she was cooked. Anyhow. Yeah, another one out of landfill. Thanks for watching. Someone asked where the dog is. The dog's here. Still very motivated.